Hello, Seiiti Arata. What is the big problem with insecure people? Why is it so hard to win someone over when you are needy or when you are too clingy? Here it is. Every time you try to pull someone closer, you actually end up pushing that person away. You text too fast, you force conversations, and still try to act relaxed while you're panicking. And this happens because your identity depends on their reaction. So if you want to change, do you want to build confidence that attracts people? Then you need to stop forcing things and redirect your focus back to your own life. Let me explain that. Look at a very common mistake. You send a text and you keep checking every 5 minutes to see if they read, if they replied. Another situation, the person shares an opinion you disagree with, but you smile, you pretend to agree just to force having something in common. And that is desperation. And you already know that acting desperate, it pushes people away. So what is the solution? Is it pretending you don't care? Well, that does not work either. First, you have to understand what the problem is. And the problem is you have zero control over your relationships. Worse yet, you leave all the control in the hands of others, letting the other person determine how you feel. And this has to stop right now. When one unanswered text ruins your day, you give someone else control over your peace of mind. Think about it. Sometimes you send a message where deep down your only goal is to test if they still care about you. Will they react with a little heart? Will they reply? Other times you pretend to agree with opinions that are very different from your own, just to make sure that they stay in your life. Now, what do these two examples have in common? You stop being yourself to try to please the other person. When you do that, your emotional stability starts depending on their approval. That is why one unanswered text ruins your entire day, because you took control of your emotions and you handed it to another person. And what do you know about the worst part? The other person notices that. And it is useless to pretend that everything is normal. Everybody notices. When your mood depends on the reaction of others, it is very visible, and the other person knows that you are needy, that you want to cling to them. And so they pull away. And pay attention, I'm not telling you that they leave because you text twice in a row. No, that's not the case. They leave because it is extremely exhausting to have the obligation to manage your emotions. Every time you force the person to stay, that is when you push them away for good. And trying harder to make someone like you fails. Your effort creates tension that pushes them away. There is an old fable about the north wind and the sun. They argued about who was more powerful, so they agreed on a test. A traveler was walking down a road wearing a heavy coat, so whomever could make the traveler remove the coat would be the stronger one. And then the north wind went first. It blew as hard as it could, sent gusts and gales crashing into the traveler. But the harder the wind blew, the tighter the traveler wrapped his coat around himself. The north wind exhausted and failed. Right now, you are acting like the north wind. When you try too hard to impress or to force a connection, you create pressure. And just like the traveler, the other person pulls their coat tighter to protect themselves. You cannot fix that by trying harder. Do not force someone to open up. You have to become the person they feel safe around. You might think that the alternative is to withdraw, but doing nothing makes you invisible. There is a second half. of the fable. It was the sun who took his turn, didn't blow. The sun didn't force anything, the sun simply shone. It warmed the air gently and steadily, and after a while, the traveler felt warm, unbuttoned his coat, and just took it off by himself. So instead of acting like the wind, you must change your approach. When you stop pouring attention onto somebody else whose feelings you cannot control, you can start building a life that you respect. And then you stop needing validation. And this removes the pressure. This doesn't guarantee that the other person will start liking you. But when you improve your own life, you naturally attract people. You often attract someone much better than the initial person you were chasing. The first step is moving your attention away from their reaction. Every hour you spend obsessing over someone else, that is 1 hour that you lose building a life that you could respect. Imagine your life having 2 columns. On the left, is everything you cannot control, like how fast they reply, whether they find you attractive or not. But on the right, that is your power. You control whether you can go to the gym today or not. You control whether you learn a new skill tonight. Instead of waiting around for your phone to ring, you control your own routine. Every minute that you obsess over their reaction, that is wasted. You're stealing time from things you can control. Every hour you spend analyzing their silence is 1 hour lost. You could spend that time building a life that makes you proud. This shift in focus is what builds a foundation for confidence that attracts people. If you want to stop feeling anxious every time somebody ignores your messages, you need to build emotional stability. Here in Arata Academy, we created a professional training for your personal development. You can go to the link arata.se personal development, and you can begin now. Real confidence is not acting relaxed. You build confidence by keeping promises to yourself until you stop needing approval. You cannot fake confidence because the other person will always feel your intent. Real confidence happens when you trust yourself. You build this trust by collecting evidence that you keep your promises. When you finish a small project, instead of abandoning it, and you stop being fragile. You stop needing validation because your track record, it proves you can rely on yourself. This self-reliance, it is the mechanism behind detachment. And when I say detachment, this is not a little mental trick to pretend that you don't care. Detaching, it means you truly stop trying to get emotional safety from somebody else. When your identity no longer depends on the reaction of somebody else, you stop performing. And that lack of desperation, this is what makes you magnetic, because it is the result of knowing you will be fine no matter what the other person does. Your romantic pattern repeats because your identity depends on the reaction of the other person. So the solution is not to pretend that you don't care. You need to stop forcing connections and redirect that attention back to your own life. Keep one small promise to yourself today. Go to the gym. Finish that small project. Accumulate enough of these promises, and then you stop needing to perform, because your results now prove that you can trust yourself. If you want a structured path to build that trust, go to the link arata.se personal development.